President Donald Trump said on social media Monday evening that Israel and Iran had agreed to a ceasefire, signaling a possible end to nearly 2 weeks of escalating air assaults by the two countries. The agreement described by Trump involved 2 12-hour ceasefire periods, starting at about 12 a.m., starting with Iran. That would come when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions, Trump said in the Truth social post. Israel would then follow with a second 12-hour ceasefire, Trump said. After 24 hours, the war would be officially declared ended, according to Trump. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war, Trump wrote in the post. In the immediate aftermath of Trump's announcement, neither Israeli nor Iranian officials publicly commented on the proposal. In the final hours before the ceasefire was set to go into effect, under the terms described by Trump, Israel said Iran had launched a barrage of missiles, killing at least 3 people. Earlier, in a post on social media, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi had denied there was a ceasefire agreement. However, he said if Israel halted its strikes by 4 a.m. Tehran time, we have no intention to continue our response afterwards. Araghchi said a final decision on the cessation of our military operations would be made later, and he thanked Iranian armed forces who, he said, responded to any attack by the enemy until the very last minute. Trump's surprise ceasefire announcement came 2 days after the U.S. joined Israel's war, launching strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear targets. The war began June 12th when Israel launched a series of strikes against Iran that included dozens of military targets, including the country's nuclear program. Defending what it called a preemptive strike, Israel cited intelligence that it said indicated Iran had significantly advanced toward obtaining a nuclear weapon, claims Iran denied. Earlier Monday, Iran fired missiles targeting Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the largest U.S. military base in the region, raising concerns about potential escalation after the U.S. However, a U.S. official told ABC News the U.S. intercepted the missiles with assistance from Qatar, and Trump, who called the response very weak, struck a de-escalatory tone on social media. One source later called Iran's move a failed retaliation. An Iranian airstrike on Beersheba, Israel, hit city on June 24th, killing at least 6 people and damaging civilian structures. Israel has accused Iran of violating a ceasefire that had been announced after 12 days of conflict. Iran has fired a missile at Beersheba, a city in southern Israel, in what Tehran calls a measured response to ongoing Israeli military aggression. The missile directly struck its target, sparking fires and damaging buildings. Israeli officials reported at least 6 people with minor injuries. Iranian state media confirmed the strike. It happened as regional hostilities intensify, especially after a series of Israeli air raids on Iranian soil. Just hours before the missile launch, Israeli warplanes carried out attacks on Tehran and other areas. Over 60 fighter jets and 120 bombs were involved, hitting industrial zones. However, the Iranian Ministry of Defense said the assault killed and injured many civilians too. Tehran strongly condemned what it described as unjustified Israeli aggression. According to Iranian officials, their military action was defensive. They aimed to stop further Israeli attacks. A spokesperson for Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps explained the missile was aimed at military infrastructure. He emphasized that Iran tried to avoid civilian harm. Iranian state TV SNN declares a ceasefire, a truce imposed on the Zionist enemy following the successful Busharat al-Fath operation. Tehran frames it as a victory, not a compromise. Iran and Israel on Tuesday agreed to accept U.S. President Donald Trump's ceasefire proposal to end their 12-day war that roiled the Middle East. The acceptance of the deal came after both the Jewish state and the Islamic Republic final onslaught of missiles at each other. The Israeli strikes killed 9 Iranians, including a nuclear scientist, the Iranian state media said. At least 7 people were also killed in Israel's Beersheba after an Iranian missile landed on a residential complex. Iranian state television reported that the ceasefire went into effect at 7:30 a.m. local time. But Iranian officials have not commented since Trump's announcement. Hours earlier, Iran's top diplomat said the country was prepared to halt airstrikes. As of now, there is no agreement on any ceasefire or cessation of military operations, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi wrote in a post on X. However, provided that the Israeli regime stops its illegal aggression against the Iranian people no later than 4 a.m. Tehran time, we have no intention to continue our response afterwards. Araghchi added, "The final decision on the cessation of our military operations will be made later." Trump's ceasefire proposals came after Tehran launched a retaliatory limited missile attack on a U.S. military base in Qatar. Despite this, there were reports of Israeli strikes killing 9 people in the northern Iranian province of Gilan early on Tuesday morning local time, and 5 people killed in an Iranian strike on Beersheba in Israel. And Israel's military soon said it had detected another barrage of Iranian missiles. At about 9 a.m. UK time, the Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said, "In light of Iran's blatant violation of the ceasefire declared by the President of the United States through the launch of missiles toward Israel, and in accordance with the Israeli government's policy to respond forcefully to any breach, I have instructed the IDF to continue high-intensity operations targeting regime assets and terror infrastructure in Tehran." Iran denied firing missiles after the ceasefire had begun and accused Israel of the same sort of breach. At this point, at about 7 a.m. Washington time, Trump returned to the fray, telling reporters as he prepared to board a helicopter to head to the NATO summit in the Netherlands. Iran violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before, the biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot perhaps by mistake. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. He expanded on the point on social media, posting, "Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now." Following reports that he had immediately spoken to Benjamin Netanyahu on the phone, he added, "Israel is not going to attack Iran. Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect."
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.